Hi there, lovely people. I hope you're all doing well as normal. However, if you're not, or you're feeling stressed, feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, grumpy, just know that that's kind of normal and okay to be at this current time. So we are going through a huge amount of energetic shifting going on at the moment. Now, that might not mean much to you, but this is like what we're calling upgrading. We're upgrading our bodies, our heart frequencies, our ways of being. We're actually coming out and being called to come out from a higher heart space rather than fear and the separatism that humanity has created over thousands of years. We are actually being called to come out of that, to break free from that, and to be our full expressions of ourselves, more kind, more love, more compassion, more truth and integrity. Yet this breaking free pattern is, we have to go through the old to shift. We have to recognize these old patterns to shift them. And this can feel quite overwhelming because we kind of sometimes just get very immersed into that old pattern, those belief systems that have been created in this lifetime, but also it can be carried down from us through our ancestors, our imprinting. And if you think of what has happened in humanity for thousands of years, it's not been very pleasant. It hasn't been all love and gracious and accepting. It's been a lot of fear, base, separation, trauma. There's been a lot of this, and this is what humanity in a way has kind of created as a reality. However, we are really being called to create our own reality, to create a higher state of being, a higher connection to ourselves and one another. And actually these old ways that have been, these old infrastructures that we're seeing huge amount of corruption and greed, war, all this old stuff coming really to the surface. And it's not a surprise because it's always been there. It's always been part of our ways of being, but it's really coming up to the surface. So what we're seeing, not only what we're seeing on the stage and the world platform that's growing and coming to our visual, we are bringing our own stuff up to deal with and to process. And if we're not aware of this, we can continue this cycle and stay on this like merry-go-round and actually feeling like we have no choice, no power, we can't change it. And that is just an illusion. That isn't actually your truth. That is fear. We can choose. We can change. And it is through our choice in our minds that we can go, you know, I choose love. I choose joy. I choose peace. I choose abundance. I choose fun. Whatever it is that you're desiring, we can choose it. And then we can change it by feeling it. So there's this massive humanity shifting going on, which will make a lot of us feel like everything's just breaking down, everything's falling apart. Whereas actually, if you can think of it as like a nut, the seed within the shell, that shell is breaking off to allow that seed to be planted, to grow, and that full potential of what it is. So it's actually about changing your mindset to know that actually this is happening for a reason and it's actually for our highest good. But if we are already overwhelmed, already stressed, we can keep carrying on this cycle. So we have to break the pattern. We have to break this pattern on every minute, every day, every week, all of our existence, to keep seeking that change, to break the patterns of cycles that we're in. And that could be just a matter of changing how you get up in the morning and do something different. You know, getting up, looking out of the window, taking a breather, taking a cup of tea, looking out, just having some very quiet time just to yourself. And we can do this in a many ways, and that is kind of putting a message out there that is that your time is precious, your health is precious, your well-being is precious. So you're starting to make choices that are right and serving for you. You start making those tiny steps. It then evolves and can become big, greater and greater, and you can evolve into creating things that are better for you, which may have felt really huge at the time, and how on earth can I get to that? But if you create these little steps, they will take you in that direction, and you keep in your heart to know the direction that you want to go in, and to recognize that if it's fear coming up, know that this is an illusion, this is an old pattern of yours that's coming up to be dealt with. But it's so easy to get caught into it, and I do that too. So we're all normal, we're all human, but if we have the awareness, we can create these conscious changes, and they can be small. They start off small, but they evolve into something much, much bigger when we take time and we trust in ourselves. So not only are we having this huge shifting that's going on in ourselves, individually, collectively, in society, in our systems. I mean, everything is working as one. So we see everything as separate, but actually everything is kind of the same, but in a different way. It's the same energy of it's that breaking free, seeing what no longer serves us joy, us purpose. This is all starting to break away, and we're seeing that, like I say, in governments, with the fascial kind of ways, the fascist, it's kind of getting very controlling, and we can, even the ludicrousy of things and of stuff that's coming up, I think, how can that be getting away with that? And it's just things like this that are really coming to our awareness, in our systems, but in ourselves. And then on top of all of that, we've had COVID, and that does affect our bodies, but I don't think it's probably fully taken out of the body. It's sort of part of us. And if anyone that has like more ill health or poor boundaries, so that's gut brain, blood brain, it can affect us even more. I know it certainly affected my endocrine system. For me, it brought on like an early sort of menopausal system, and also kidneys and bladder. So it does tend to go for the inflammation of your body. So it can be a wonderful marker, a highlighter to highlight to us where we need to work on ourselves. So it's a very good indicator for that, but it can screw things up if you're not working on it. That's the technical term. And uncoupled of that, we're coming into spring. We've just had the spring equinox. We have a new moon coming forward, which is very big as well. And it's liver time, the good old liver. Now the liver, if this isn't a happy bunny, it'll come out in many different ways. This is our detoxer. It's our deep relationship with ourselves. It's anger. If it goes into the gallbladder, it's bitterness. It can sit behind that, can be betrayal. It's huge amounts of things that can lay within the liver, and that will be coming up. So if you're feeling super angry, super peed off right now, easily triggered, even easily irritated, easily overwhelmed, this is probably because of your liver, as well as everything else that I've just mentioned. So long story short, it's okay not to be okay right now. Don't give yourself a hard time, but seek the change, seek help, seek a different way of what you can do to help and give you the tools that you need to do to look after yourself and look after your body. And that can be through treatments like with myself, myofascial release, or anybody that you feel that will be actually beneficial to you, who resonates to you. Somebody that really looks at the body as a whole is what I would recommend. So it's the physical, the emotional, mental, and energetics of your body. And if you think of us as energy, we are one whole thing. It's the physical, it's the denser form of energy. So actually, if we're working energetically, we can help cleanse through the physical. The physical, like, is the latter part of what we see from ourselves energetically. We have the reminders mentally, the emotionally, but then the physical will come up if we haven't really tuned into ourselves to understand something's not right, I need to work on this. So the body is like a physical going, mirror, look at me, listen to me, understand what I'm trying to say to you, and love me. That's ultimately the ethos is what I'm doing with my Love to Heal movement meditations, which is the listen, the observe, visualize the change, and then empower your health. So that is one thing that you can do, or many things like that. You can journal. You can write down what is happening to you. Why am I feeling like this? And also then on the flip side, make a decision. How do you want to actually feel? Do you want to continue this cycle, or would you like to change? So you can then let outwardly go, I choose whatever it is that you want to feel. I want to feel free. I want to feel empowered. Whatever it is, I want to feel joy. I want to feel laughter. I want to feel peace and inner contentment. Whatever it is that you want to, start to really zone in and honing on that feeling of what that is. And I would also say, really look at what you're putting into your body, the environment that you're in. Get outside, get grounded. And you can do this many ways. You can do visualization through meditation. You can go out in nature, which is the best way. Especially it's so beautiful and sunny. Hug a tree, get your feet into the earth, get your feet into sand, soil, whatever it is to really allow yourself to earth and ground, because it's these free electrons that come up from the earth that balances our central nervous system. So that is a huge health therapy out there, ready, it's free, use it, go for it. And then use your feet. Imagine your feet are kissing the earth as you walk. You're walking with much more grace and gratitude, which is a huge shifting and change that we can have in our systems, in our body, in our heart when we're feeling these. And I would say as well, if you're feeling really scattered, you're not getting much sleep, you can also, the really good thing is actually supporting your pineal gland, which is your circadian rhythms, which will probably be a little bit out of sync if you're feeling all of this. So, and the fundamental part of that, which is the melatonin and serotonin, the food that it needs is tryptophan, which is found in seeds, like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, chicken, turkey, but go organic, because it's that nasty glyphosate that blocks this key essential amino acid for our fundamental part of our body. Without tryptophan, we cannot create serotonin, which cannot then create melatonin. And these are two very key neurotransmitters and hormones that affect our whole body. And if that's not working, nothing else is, okay? So that is fundamental. And get into a good routine of getting to sleep. Get some magnesium spray, have Epsom salt baths, bring in the magnesium, bring in the leafy greens that are really key right now, but go organic as much as you can, okay? So that was just a little taster, a little idea of what you can do to feel less stressed and less anxious, and recognize some old patterns that you're doing. Set yourself free from that. Stop giving yourself a hard time. That is my pattern, so I'm coming from a real space of where I'm at, and try and go with a little bit more of a flow. Connect to your breathing. Steady yourself. Ground. Whatever you need to do, just come back into your body. Okay? And talking about that, I am doing a new moon Love to Heal movement meditation tomorrow, which is Wednesday the 22nd of March at the High Grange. But I'm also doing these on a regular basis every month. So check in with my remedial therapy clinic Facebook group and my Infinity Health Hub group, and you'll be able to get regular updates as to when I'm doing those. But that is an amazing way to really come into your body, ground and connect, and also to visualize and to connect to your inner power, your magic of what you can do to manifest, to change. And that comes from awareness. So, and I hold that space for you. Okay, so hope this has been helpful for you. And if you are stressed, overwhelmed, ground, eat well, drink well, really start to look after yourselves, okay? And reach out for help. You don't have to do this on your own. You're not on your own. So, lots of love, take care, and breathe.